when it comes to trading, market analysis, I would always say, is only 10% of trading. The markets are literally going to be moving in a very clear direction recently. And I think that moving forward as well, we've got some great opportunities coming up for gold and also the rest of the FX markets. I really like DAX on bullish right now because we had that flash wick and a stop loss hunt. And also on top of that as well, it didn't come as low as the previous flash wick. And it looks really good for a continuation. And I'm going to call this right now to potentially test this upper zone here at 25,480. Most of these market analysis is 5 to 10 minutes and we already know what we can assume for the whole week. We'll do that every single week. The hardest bit comes into execution, knowing what we look for, doing the back test, doing the work and finding exactly what we call an A+ setup. So in today's video, I'm doing a market analysis on episode 5, breaking down overall what I think is going to be happening. Well, it's not even what I think, it's just a market breakdown and a market analysis of what we can see at the moment. This is episode 5 and this week looks a lot cleaner. I'm currently in a trade right now as well, so I'm going to break down this trade. I'm also going to break down some of the trades we took last week for you guys to learn and earn from. And then we're going to go through every single week on the same pairs off of a market analysis of what I potentially think is going to happen on the DXY from what the charts are telling me, so to speak. So let's get to it. So first and foremost, we're currently on this gold trade and gold has been literally just been buying at the moment. And the reason I've been buying on gold is because we've had this really nice continuation. And I always like to do something called a top-down analysis, just as a reminder for all of you guys on what a top-down analysis is. And a top-down analysis basically is from top all the way down. And when we look at the top, we look at the higher time frames. And these higher time frames give us an indication of where we potentially see the markets could potentially go. And one of the things and the key indicators I use in my trading is from point A to point B. And I decipher these point A's to point B's by drawing zones known as support resistance, supply and demand. It's kind of all the same thing if I have to be honest. And that's my interpretation. But right now, on last week, I was taking these two gold trades. And the first one was a loss and the second one was a take profit. And ultimately, I was just looking for point A to point B and a continuation. This in and itself has started going quite well. I started to basically start trading my personal accounts. On my personal accounts, I'm trying to look to slowly compound and grow those over the years. And then now I haven't traded personal for, I'd say nearly 4 years now since I started doing in the prop firm game. I think prop firms I'm still using as a utilization to build my capital and also to use it as an additional or consistent source of income. I think prop firms are the best way to leverage it and I don't have to have as much capital sitting in a brokerage. And I also really like the idea of prop firms to rotate, to leverage, to desensitize myself, to also reduce my risk that's on the table as well and make me a better trader overall. One of the key things about trading is that prop firms having restrictions are the best things ever. Why? Because having restrictions help you stay disciplined and help you stay within the parameters of trading. So as we do a top-down analysis, and I could see from the high time frame on daily and 4 hours, it's very simply put, we basically have higher highs, higher lows, and I think that 5,500 can be retested on gold, and I would love to get an opportunity to potentially run from point A to point B on a bigger trade. So currently we have this continuation here. I'm looking for this to retest a previous high at 5,170, and that's the kind of trade breakdown to kind of go off of with at the moment. Now this week is going to be week 5 off of this market analysis, and let's start off by going through these. After now going through my trade breakdowns, is where do we think DXY is going to go? Now I'm going to go and switch this into Japanese candlesticks, and then I'm going to go on to DXY. So DXY at the moment has got quite nicely. I mean, originally I was looking for this to come short. I was expecting this to break this support zone and potentially retest this 95, but we had a change of direction and a change of accumulation, and then we could see this potentially coming all the way up to 99, but on daily at the moment still looks bearish. 4 hours potentially bullish, 1 hour is bearish, and 30 minutes is bearish. So you can see that markets are a little bit unsettled. We've got 4 hours, 30 minutes and 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour and daily all bearish, but 4 hours bullish. So we just need to see for one of these time frames, so 4 hours can correlate to a bearish. That means we have 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours and daily all bearish. And that's what we got to wait for. If we are uncertain, it's better to wait for all the time frames to be in sync, and that we can have this as a confirmation to give us a better idea of where we think the potential of the markets could go. And then if I go on to, so right now I would say that if I had to write this is that it's undecided. Which goes on to what I was saying last week, is wait for the confirmation. However, 4 hour is bullish, and then I'd say 30 mins, 1 hour, and daily are bearish. So if 4 hours can correlate this week, then that ultimately tells me that we could potentially see that. So because of last week and we didn't know the confirmation for DXY, we were waiting for the confirmation on GU, EU, obviously we have gold and then DAX. Now we can kind of have a little bit look of an indication, because even though 4 hours is there, can we see the markets changing any way, shape or form? So let's start off with GBPUSD. GBPUSD does look good for a short right now. But again, that's the 4 hours, 1 hour is bullish, 30 minutes, and I'm assuming daily is the same in there. Daily is bullish again. So straight away, it's exactly the same as DXY. And that, quote unquote, is what we would say as a correlation. And that makes total sense, right? Because USD is the other pair that we're pairing against the sterling. And if DXY is doing that, then USD is the inverse of DXY. So basically what that means is just exactly the opposite. So really and truly, we've got the same outcome, I'm assuming, for EURUSD as well. So if I had to go into EURUSD, let's just have a quick look. Yeah, EURUSD looks the same. 4 hours is bearish, 1 hour bullish, yep, 30 minutes bullish again, so daily bullish. And that's how quick the analysis can come. You just come onto the time frame, you see the overall picture, don't dive into too much detail. The only way you dive into detail is when you look at the markets in the lower time frame to see if these trades are invalid or valid. And right now we're currently in this trade, still waiting. It's pulling back into break even at the moment. Let's just see if this can continue, because it's pulled all the way back down. We're on a new candle at the moment, on a new 30-minute candle, so this could pull the way back for a continuation, or this can pull back in general. But right now this still looks really bullish, really bullish. I think maybe we might even get an answer at the end of this market analysis potentially. So then coming onto that I guess now we comes into gold. So if we go back onto gold looks good for a bullish. 4 hours is bullish, 1 hour is bullish, 30 minutes bullish. I think everything on here on gold looks bullish. Very simple. And then last but not least, we're going to go on to DAX. DAX looks bullish as an overall as well. We've got 1 hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah, this looks good for a continuation onto the upside. We've got a flash wick all the way down, 10 minutes, 3 minutes. This looks good to potentially push higher if it can have that momentum to push all the way up to 25, especially with these stop loss hunts right now. I really like DAX on bullish right now because we had that flash wick and a stop loss hunt, and also on top of that as well, it didn't come as low as the previous flash wick, and it looks really good for a continuation. And I'm going to call this right now to potentially test this upper zone here at 25,480. So when it comes to trading, market analysis, I would always say, is only 10% of trading. It's 10% of trading because we just have to understand the outcome and we can look at the markets from an overview. And it's really that simple. I mean, most of these market analysis is 5 to 10 minutes and we already know what we can assume for the whole week. We'll do that every single week. The hardest bit comes into execution, knowing what we look for, doing the back test, doing the work, and finding exactly what we call an A+ setup. So for example, I was using this tool here to kind of find out all of my setups, and I was testing the time zones in trading. I really encourage you guys to make sure that you're doing your tests, making sure you're looking for exactly what works and what doesn't to refine your trading and make you a better trader. If you are enjoying these, I'm happy to make more of these educational videos. It doesn't matter if they get 10K or 100K, it's just your comments mean a lot because it means you are talking to me directly and I'm getting the feedback off of how you're trading and also how you are finding these videos as an overall. Don't forget to check out Honor Prime, which is a prop firm challenge that have Forex, crypto and futures. Now I finally started my challenge with them, so I'll be looking to take some few trades, and also as I'm taking the trades I'm going to be sharing my journey with them as an overall. I have not got a payout from them just as of yet, but I am going to be trying my earnest over the next month or two to be trading the accounts to pass phase 1, phase 2 and to get a payout. Now they have kindly given us this limited offer which is soon going to run out in the future. It's 40% off of all of your challenges, and that's on your Forex, crypto or futures, any of those, and it's 40% off of your first challenge, which is using code WCHAMPFX. So it's a win-win. I hope you guys obviously enjoy your challenges with them. I hope you guys are enjoying the market analysis with them as well, and on top of that you get 40% and also we get a referral. So thanks for supporting, and let's get back to the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Champ out. Peace.
Ola Prime, trade with transparency.